To me, skills are the new currency. They're really the things that allow us to learn different areas of a business.
Don't ever be afraid to take that chance, to ask that question, to develop that skill.
Careers in healthcare is changing so fast. Commercial careers, for example, are changing so fast. It's no longer depending on product knowledge as it used to be, not just product knowledge, but there are other skills as well that we need to be aware about. Patient journey thinking, fluency in data, cross-collaboration. They are all important elements now for commercial careers. Then the question is, how can we plan for our career? How can we plan for the skills that we need to equip ourselves with so we're ready for the next step? I am Ahmed Musa, General Manager for Specialty Care in UK and Ireland and Country Lead. And I'm joined here with a great panel of 4 beautiful people around me. Audrey, our Chief Talent Officer in Sanofi, the one is thinking and planning about our talents and their development. And I'll be very keen to understand how you are planning for this in Sanofi. How can we change? How can we plan for our careers in Sanofi?
I think, Ahmed, the key for careers in the future is instead of thinking of them in a linear fashion, like a ladder, that we think in Sanofi more so about careers as pathways, that people can gain multiple experience, whether that be in different therapeutic areas, different functions, different countries, that people grow more from gaining a basket of skills and experiences that allow them to be a broader, well-rounded leader, as opposed to just up and up and up a ladder. To me, skills are the new currency. They're really the things that allow us to learn different areas of a business or different areas of a certain organization. And because of those skills that we get, we collect a portfolio of those skills, and those allow us to move into different areas and bring those skills with us.
This is very important. I can actually personally reflect on this story. I think it was one career move that I had in my career when I was a franchise head, and then I moved to be a global omni-channel transformation. And at that time I was questioning, why am I doing this? Why it's important? But then looking at the future and how omni-channel is important, I gained huge skills out of this. That is, till now, as a general manager, this is helping me to think about it.
We just last year launched our skills-based organization. It was the first time that we've tried this in Sanofi, and it works across 2 dimensions, Ahmed. One is I self-assess my own skills, because I may have skills before I joined Sanofi, or I may have skills that you don't know about, even as my manager. So I assess my own skills, and then my manager has a direct conversation with me about what those are, where are my gaps, where are my strengths, and potential opportunities for me in the organization. The other thing is providing experiences that are open for all Sanofians to see. So we do open job posting. People see the postings that are there, the opportunities that are available, no matter whether they're permanent roles or gigs. And that's all supported by learning, chances that we grow and learn in a more formal way. So we think about it a lot, but it's just not one dimension. I think that's over.
Audrey, we talked about the skills. We understand how skills are important, but now I ran into this. I went into my skills. I worked on my development. Now it's time for my career move. How do we support bold moves in Sanofi? And what is a bold move?
It's a really good point. Bold moves is about making sure that as talent, as people who work for the organization, that you take opportunities to really stretch yourself. It could be across therapeutic areas, across functions, across geographies, that we're really trying to embrace our people feeling comfortable taking bold career choices.
Good. So speaking about bold moves, Haley, you had a bold move joining Sanofi from working in fine jewelry.
Yes, so we
I like fine jewelry.
So do I.
Well, I can imagine. Yeah. We'll have some advices outside.
Yeah, we have some advice. You need to learn the different gemstones. No problem. This all came about when I had my son. He was born during COVID, and in a really vaccine hesitant world, I did a lot of independent research on vaccines, the importance of vaccines, the safety of vaccines for my son. I was very fortunate that my manager took a chance on me coming into a sales role at Sanofi and vaccines, because before this, I was actually a buyer of fine jewelry. Absolutely no pharma experience, minimal B2B experience on the selling side. I was being sold to, but a big piece of it is those transferable skills.
And I think it's important to share this passion that we have, because you will find that majority of us, we have a personal story behind why we joined pharmaceuticals and why
Exactly.
we joined Sanofi and why we're chasing medicals of science. So thank you so much for sharing
Thank
this.
you.
Similarly, I have a clinical background in social work. I came to Sanofi almost 5 years ago, and really my focus in the core is helping patients and helping remove barriers. So I started as a case manager, as an individual contributor. I knew ultimately that I wanted to do more. When I moved into my operations role, I was a little bit nervous that I wouldn't, still have that close proximity to patients. But, to this day, I'm really at the center of removing barriers, helping patients, helping HCPs from script to fulfillment.
Yeah, that's such an interesting point because I feel like on the medical engagement side, I have such a similar role where my main role is to help clinicians better understand the clinical data about our therapies. And once they have that better understanding, they're more comfortable using them and prescribing it and bringing these newer therapeutic agents to patients that will ultimately benefit.
This is great, and listening to you, it takes me as well to reflect on the part that skills are totally in a new space now, right? So it's not only about technical skills, but it's more about the human skills, right? How we need to listen deeply, how we need to be more empathetic. You talked a lot about patience, which is the core of what we're doing, and why it's important to do what we're doing. And I think we're now talking about IQ and EQ, Audrey, together, right? So how do you see this? How do you see this as an important skill for us in Sanofi, in the roles that we're doing, in how we'll move to the future as well?
I think the EQ part is taking center stage. It's also hard to teach. You can get better and better over time, but it's paying attention to it and training a muscle that is important for Sanofi in the future.
This is very important. And you talked about authenticity, and we have been when you listen to some leaders, and you feel that every leader is talking about how they need to walk the talk. But what I've learned and what I'm seeing here in Sanofi as well, that we define the talk that we want to walk first, and I think it's very important and reflects a lot about authenticity.
We are allowed to be in the driver's seat
Yeah.
of our development, and essentially our managers are in the passenger seat with us. So for me, when I identified that I want to be a people leader and my passion is the talent development, my manager was full steam ahead with it. I mean, within 6 months of being in the field, I was already mentoring new hires and already guiding them throughout the first few months, the first year in the field. And I think it just is natural at Sanofi. I think nothing's forced. I think it's if you want an opportunity and you ask for it, you'll get it.
You bring up a really good point. Coming from a social work background, I never thought I would be within industry. I was very focused on working in the hospital, potentially having my own private practice. And when when Sanofi came up, I really loved the mission that I can still help patients at a larger scale or a different scale. And within my first year here, I knew that I wanted to do more. So I ultimately took on a gig to gain visibility within the company, learn a new role, as well as just elevate myself. That ultimately led me to my senior manager role. I'm focused on the next steps and continuing my education and working with my manager on the next career path.
Yeah, that's great. I find that there's so much great on-the-job learning. Even myself, I started my career as an intern on the specialty care unit. So I was working on both commercial and medical projects before I finally moved over to the general medicine unit as an omni-channel medical science liaison.
I'm interested. You were trained in pharmacy, and then you were an intern, and then now you've been at Sanofi how long?
Yeah, so I've been at Sanofi for 4 years now.
Okay.
And then in that time, I've had 5 different roles where I moved from supporting commercial and medical projects on the specialty care team, and then joined the general medicines team working in diabetes. And so I used a lot of my digital and clinical experience to be successful in this role. I had a lot of prior experience and knowledge, but there was so much on-the-job learning that I was able to do. I'm someone that can just not afraid to try out things and see what sticks. So I always appreciated that. So one of the key things that I brought was a few different digital approaches to data communication, like our podcasts, like online national webinars as well. And so I was able to try out all these new different skills that I didn't necessarily have the experience from before, but tried it out in the role, and they seem to be successful.
My question was going to be, how was your manager with you trying all these different things? I'm just curious, how was that relationship?
Yeah, I've been very lucky to have very supportive managers. They
Do you know
trust-
that I was one of them?
Yeah. And yeah, our managers are, like Ahmed, very kind and very understanding, and they actually push you to make these bold moves and try new things, because you're not really sure what may resonate or what would work well. So being able to feel safe to try new things and then adapt when things are not working perfectly is a skill in and of itself.
Yeah, I think the thing to add to that is it does take both. Back to appreciating that everybody's different, because everyone has different levels of interest, aspiration, ambition. So it takes the person knowing themselves and knowing what they want to do. Also, having managers who can either enable it or support it while we're running the business.
And I would probably as well add that it takes the whole ecosystem that we have at Sanofi to make this work, right? And
Fully agree.
and that's why we're always saying here in Sanofi that it takes three to tango, right? And I'm a true believer into this. And as managers, we have a great and important responsibility to continue to challenge our bias, to think about skills for future, to think about potential for futures. We need to hire for our successors and for our managers as well. So it's great to listen to all of you into that. So let's imagine that there are no cameras now. Nobody's watching us. Nobody's listening to us. What could be the advice that you now give to yourself early in this career? Haley, we'll start with you.
I think the advice that I would give myself is don't ever be afraid to jump. Don't ever be afraid to take that chance, to ask that question, to develop that skill. Just do not fear that, because it could lead you here. Yeah. You don't know.
Thanks, Haley. This
Thank
is very
you.
insightful. Darren.
So I would always just say, stay open and stay curious, and then just be ready to fill a position or step up into a new role. As long as you have some of the prior experience, but the right attitude, you'll be able to grow and learn in the role.
I think, similarly to the theme is, for me, it would be, believe in your impact and know that what you're bringing adds value. You're adding your transferable skills, you're adding your passion, you're adding your knowledge base. So definitely just truly believing in yourself.
Thank you so much. I've listened to great advices from you, and that's our work. It's personal. This is how we take career seriously in Sanofi, and this is how we are very lucky to have talents all around us in Sanofi. I've learned a lot from you today, and this is very important that we think about the breadth of skills. I'm very proud to be with all of you. Thank you so much for everyone for the great reflection. Thanks a lot.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Thank you.